behind me is my brand new, to me, boat that I'm rocking this season and probably the next couple of years. This is my first boat. I've been a hardcore kayak fisherman, ice fisherman up until now, had a baby this last year and decided I need to get into more of a fishing boat. So this is a split between half leisure, half fishing. Got the wife and the kid we want to bring out, so we want some of those creature comforts as well. Today, I'm excited to walk you through how the boat looks right now, just bringing it home, doing a little bit of cleanup organizing, and I brought it in the garage because it is actually snowing out. We've gotten more snow, I think, in the last 24 hours than we've gotten all winter long here in Minnesota, so excuse a little bit of the mess in the background, but we're going to jump in the boat, and we're going to show you how it looks right now in some of my plans that I'm thinking of as we go through this journey this year with all the fishing gear, tech, tackle, loadouts, rigging, all the stuff that we're going to do on this boat. Let's jump in. So first things first, what kind of boat is this? This is a Lund 1850 Tyee Gran Sport Series. So this is a year 2000 boat in very, very good condition, as you can already tell from here. This is an inboard outboard motor that you can see back here. It is rocking a Mercury Merc Cruiser Alpha 1. I believe this is a 3.4 liter engine inside of this guy here, and it is in really good shape. It has low hours on it, only about 200 hours. The previous owner has taken very good care of this boat and did not really use it all that much. It's also got a 15 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke motor on it, which I'm really excited for all of those trolling opportunities that we have. We've got a swim deck off of the back with a ladder, which I'm excited about because I can actually even stand up there, fish from it, sit there and fish. I can do a ton of fun things. Of course, swimming is really a pretty cool thing you can do there. And then one of the things that I really liked about the inboard outboard motor is you get this big back deck here to lay out or as a platform to stand on for when you're fishing, which I'm really excited about. This boat is getting hauled around on a tandem axle Shorelander trailer. We've got a spare tire here, and we've got a swing tongue, which is sweet to have. Let's talk about the bow of the boat here. It comes with 3 pads, so this is great for if you just want to sit and chill up here, or these are all removable as well. And then you have a big fishing platform. This middle piece here can actually be removed. And then if you wanted to, you have where you can actually walk all the way up to the front. So I'll probably leave that up there. I'm planning on removing those pads. They just snap in. And then I can use this as a fishing platform. One of my thoughts here is I'm gonna put a foot pedal there is kind of my thought right now. Of course, mount a trolling motor. It does not have a trolling motor on it, but there's a nice spot for it here. And so that way we will be good to go. I'm not sure what trolling motor I'm getting yet. Right now I'm looking at the Garmin Force or the Force Kraken potentially for this boat. If you have any ideas on what to get for trolling motor, let me know. Spot lock I had on my fishing kayak, so definitely getting one that has spot lock on it. All right, other thing up here in this front cavity, we've got a little storage. So we can see it's not super big inside of there, but it is carpeted all the way around. That is a nice little storage cubby up there if I want to throw some tackle or something in there. And it does lock, which is pretty nice as well. You've got what I'm assuming is probably power here for the trolling motor. Otherwise, just regular 12-volt power there. We'll see what wiring looks like when we get around to it. We might run our own wires to it. But that's what we got up here in the front. We've also got a nice little storage door here that opens up to go down in, and this is again a nice carpeted area in here where we've just got a bunch of space to throw whatever we want in here. It's a pretty small opening. I'd call this maybe 6 inches by 10 inches, and so we're not fitting anything like life jackets or anything in there. We would probably put some other things in there. Not sure if we put ropes or something like that in there. We'll see. There's actually a lot of neat little cavities on this boat in terms of storage where we can put some stuff. On both sides here in the front, we've got nets. So these are nice little storage nets. Right now there's just a rope over there, but I can throw whatever I want. Obviously some tackle and things that we can put over there. We can absolutely do. We've got a nice rail mount here, and then we've got a cup holder. The other side in the front here is just about the same. We've got a net going across this whole front area here. We've got a couple paddles there, and then you've got a cup holder and a nice mounting bar holding bar, or whatever you want to call it. Underneath both of these pads up here in the front, you've actually got your live wells. So you can see here, here's one of them. Open her up, and you've got one of your live wells here. Looks like it could use a little bit of cleaning, but it's got a light in there. You've got your water intake. You guys know how a live well works, but it's actually a pretty dang good sized live well. And so if we go up from there, there's actually a little storage area here where you can fit a couple of 3600 size tackle boxes up here. And they kind of go and slide into this little spot here, where you can throw a couple in there. Then next to that, you've got a fuse panel access door. And the other side underneath here, you have the same thing. You've got a live well under there. And then if you look towards the front on this side, you've actually got an interior light that's like an orangish yellow light, amber maybe they call it. And that's gonna allow you to have a little bit of light when it's dark out, but it's not white and blinding you. So there's that one's got that versus the storage in it. So you can see when you're standing up here, you've got a nice view of the rest of the boat, which is pretty nice. Before we leave this front area, one other thing I want to show you is this guy right here. This is the horn. Yes, it's got a fancy horn on it. And then behind the horn, we've got an antenna. So this is your radio antenna on this boat. And then of course you've got a tie down point there. Further back, we can see full windshield here, which is great. You can open it, close it. That was one of the things that I wanted to make sure I got on this boat was the full windshield. I wanted to make sure that I had the normal steering wheel style of fishing here rather than just controlling the boat and the motor from back here. And another thing that was critical on this boat, especially because one of the people going to be spending a lot of time in here is my 10-month-old daughter. Granted, she'll be older by the time she gets out in the boat here, but I wanted the tall sidewall. So these sidewalls here are very tall, which I really like. For a year 2000 boat, this is a very clean boat. I looked at a bunch that were nowhere near as clean as this. And so even though it's an older model, it's in really good shape. So let's start over here on the passenger side of the boat. What are we looking at here? We got a cup holder here in the dash. Nice, clean, open dash. Not sure if I'm gonna put anything up there right now. And then below that, we've got your little cubby access door here. And inside of here, a ton of space. I know it's probably hard to see right now because cameras don't do these small spots very much justice, but there is a ton of space in there. Right now, I've just got manuals and whatnot. We've got a rear view mirror, mount up here if we wanted to, or do whatever we want with. We've got a prop wrench back there. Looks like instructions for the mirror, a block of wood for changing out the prop, and a ton of open space to really do whatever we want with. So that's this guy over here, which is great. You can see just how good of condition this is in. Like, how awesome is that? Spectacular. Down below, this is another area where we got a little storage. So we've got a speaker here for the radio. Of course, we've got a fire extinguisher located here. And then we've got this cubby door here, which is locking. So if I wanted to lock it, I could. Open her up, and we've got a bunch more storage. So in here right now, we've got nothing in here. Nice carpeted storage area. Access to, I think there's wiring behind there for that front live well. And you can kind of get up in here and access a few other things. But that is actually a pretty nice storage space. I might actually put some tackle and things in there. Otherwise, that could be good for life jackets and whatnot too. You got a nice handle here in case, we get a little crazy out on the water. You can definitely hold on. Now over to the driver's side of the boat, the captain's seat of the boat. We've got probably the latest and greatest in fishing technology here, the Lowrance X28 high definition. So if we want to see this Lowrance working in person here, we can go ahead down here where we got a master power switch. Let's turn that puppy on. And then if we go up here, we can go ahead and click the power. And just like that, here we are. Backlight, we're gonna have off right now, 1/2 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet. You can change between feet and meter. This thing's actually not too bad. Just your normal down scanning transducer. I don't know what transducer they got on this thing, but there we go. I'm not 9 feet above the bottom, but I'm probably where that top line is actually where I am. I wonder if it's reflecting off of the floor to the ceiling or something, but Hey, it works. That's kind of cool. And next to her, we got this guy right here. It is an air guide, just a compass for us. But what's really cool about it is if I turn on the accessory power, you can see it lights up. So that way at night, if I really need to see where I'm going, I can look there rather than, you know, maybe one of the Garmin screens I'm gonna put here. Right now, I'm not sure what I'm gonna put up here. I've got a little bit of a spot here that I could mount to. In here, I could mount to the dash. I could probably mount to. What my thought is I'm gonna put at least one of my Garmin 8610s there and probably one of my Garmin 8610s up here. Start with that and then see what's missing. Since I have the GPS map series of Garmin's, I'm probably gonna stick with GPS maps and we'll see what else I get. Otherwise, I might throw some Echo Maps on here too. Not 100% sure yet, but let's see what we got right now. Nice dash here. It's in really good shape, as you can see here, so nothing too fancy there. Even these dials are in really good shape. So we've got master power, a fuse switch, we've got the bilge, panel light brightness, we've got the blower, since it is an IO. Specifically, here's our motor starting. So that's for the IO motor. Nice little Lund sticker here in the middle of the steering wheel. Like, look how good a shape the steering wheel's in for being a year 2000 boat. Like, this thing is in mint condition. You can see I turned it on nav, so that way we could get this little guy up here lit up. If I turn it off, of course, that turns off there. So we've got on the right-hand side, nav and anchor. We've got interior lights. We got the horn. This is 12-volt cigarette lighter plug there. I'll have to throw some USBs in here. Port live well, auto manual, and then we've got where we can do fill empty or recirc manually, and then the same thing on the starboard live well. If we keep going down, that's right, that is a cassette player. So we've got AM, FM radio, we've got cassette. I mean, we're golden here. We shouldn't need anything else other than this guy. Part of me wants to keep it. Part of me says I should upgrade the deck. Below the steering wheel here, yes, it does have tilting, so you can do tilt steering on it. You've got a speaker down below there, and then down underneath, it's just a little bit of a cavity. It doesn't go really more than a foot or two forward, but that is kind of nice in case you want to slide something down under there. That is what we're working with. So that's the cockpit for the captain inside of this boat. Then we've got our controller here for the primary motor. So we've got a trailer button, which will put it into trailer mode. Of course, our tilting. We've got our leash on there. I have no clue what this thing is. If anybody here knows, it's down below here. And it like kind of wants to come out, but I'm afraid I'm gonna break something if I pull it any further. I have no clue what that is. If anybody knows, put it down in the comments, let me know. Then we've got our low oil pressure light in the key for the kicker motor. And then, of course, the mercury controls for that kicker motor. And that's what we're looking at there. Captain's seat is just like all of the other seats here. There's 4 chairs that come with the boat. They do flip up and down, of course, and then there's a strap to tie them down. 3 of the chairs snap directly into the holders on the floor, so that's 3 of them. And then the captain's boat has the hydraulic air ride lift or whatever this thing's called, so a little bit more comfort and functionality for this guy right here. But these chairs are also very comfortable. So I'm probably gonna remove 2 of these. I'll leave one of them in case I have a guest with me, since if I go out, I'll usually probably only have one with. But you also do still have these 2 seats back here that a couple other people can sit in as well. You've also got up here, I know we looked at this, there's a spot to put one of those chairs up here, or if I wanted to get some other type of chair or a pedestal or something, we can do that up front in the front of the boat. As we keep going down the side of the boat, we've got a track. This track right here is for the Bimini top that goes up top. What I really like about this boat, it folds back behind these chairs here into this nice little closed off area, which they've got 2 little rubber straps that you can undo here. And then just like that, you can access it and you can open it up. The way that it works is it swings forward. This track has to stay open because these slide all the way up. At first, I thought this was like gonna be an accessory track that I could use, like to put things on. But this track is definitely only intended for this top to be able to go on, because those have to slide all the way up and can't obviously run into anything in the track. Otherwise, they're not gonna work. That cover comes up and it clips on with snaps to the front of the windshield here. And so it secures there and to the front of the door. We also have, if this window is shut, I've got a piece that can go in here. And so our cover comes here, and then you've got clear windows in the front here. And it's just like a regular Bimini top where it comes about halfway up, covers those front 2 seats, about half of these back 2, and it cuts off. It does have side curtains on it. So if I wanted to, I could put a side curtain there and a side curtain there. I've got them, but they're clear windows. So really more so for cold weather than the sun. And then it has a slipper on it. And so if the top comes up and stops here, it then angles down towards the back of the boat into the sides. We can see there is one accessory mounting spot here. I'm not sure what kind this is. I could probably look online and get the name in here, but it's probably one of the factory Lund ones that we've got there. So I definitely need to put more rail accessory tracking in here all the way across there on both sides. Probably maybe do a little bit up there, maybe do a little bit up there. We'll see. But ideally I'd have a couple rod holders. But I know you can get some clamp ones that go on those front bars as well. So we'll see what I actually end up doing. All right, below that, we have our first accessory door on the side. So on this side wall, it is a twisty one. So if we open it up, it actually goes back a little ways here. However, there are wires in the back there. And so we just have to be cautious of not, hitting the wires and things that are in the back. And then if we go in and we look towards the front, we've got the same thing. We've got a lot of wires in here that we just have to be cautious of not to hit. This side panel is not going to really work well for rods because we have all of those wires and things up there, but it is a nice little storage area on this side of the boat. Maybe I can put a little bit of tackle in there. We'll see what I end up putting in there. All right, if we go same thing on this side of the boat, we've got the same thing. We've got the track. We've got the one accessory mounting plate area here. And then below that, this is where we have our rod storage right here in this guy. So we open her up. And what we can see, this door is a lot wider, and we can see here we've got a few clips here for rods. And then in the back, we've got holes here to be able to put your rod butts in. Of course, it's made for at least 5. I'm sure I'll put more in there. I have no clue how long this cavity is, but I think it goes all the way to the front of the boat. So I shouldn't have any issue putting at least 7-foot rods inside of here. And so I'll have at least 5 that can fit in there and hopefully a few extras. As we go further up here and further back, what we can see is we've got a little accessory panel here. That's to get to some wiring in front of this back seat here. And then up here, this is where we've got our gas. So that's where we're going to be putting in non-oxy premium gas is what we're going to run off of in this guy. And then we've got one of our anchor points there that we can tie whatever we want to, whether we're docking, we got an anchor or anything like that. Across the back, what we've got is a few things here. So we've got these 2 seats, one there, one here. The seats are removable. The seat can be lifted out of place there. And then you've got your battery shut-off switch. So there are 2 batteries inside of this boat right now. Of course, both lead acid. Inside of this little cubby here, we can unsnap and we can see we've got 2 lead acid batteries. I haven't even spent much time digging in to see what these are, what type of shape they're in, but I didn't even see a charge controller of anything in here. So my guess is I'm gonna at least have to get a charger, but probably swap those out and go lithium inside of this boat here. But there's 2 12-volt batteries inside of there. On the other side, below this seat, what we've got, if we pull this out, flip it up, comes out, is we've got another little cover cubby area here. And when we unsnap this one, what we can see is we've got a few dock buoys in here, but this is actually a pretty nice space in here with a bunch of storage that we can throw quite a few different things in. You can see just how big these things are, and they fit in here, no problem, full length, just shoving them in there, put that over there, and then you can just close this guy right back up. So that's what's behind both of those. Now, this is actually pretty cool. So they've got this guy right here. You can stand on this, you can walk on it, you can lounge on it. You've got a nice little area back here. This is the cover to the motor. So if I were to pull this right now, what you're gonna see is, yup, that is our motor in here. Merc Cruiser 4.3 liter EFI digital ignition. This thing is in pretty dang good shape, and we can get access to everything that we need to in here. So that's what this is. This is a insulated, lined, whatever they call it, cover. So that's the primary purpose of this box. But you do have a little latch here you can open up, and you've got space for some more tackle or whatever you want in here. So the way that they've got it lined up is they've got these cool little plastic cutout things. This is actually like HDPE cutout specifically to fit a 3600 size Plano box with a little spot where you can actually put your finger in there and open up the little tabs on the Plano box. So that's kind of cool. So I don't know if I'll leave those in there, take those out, or what I'm going to put in here, but this could be a good place just for some of the more common tackle and accessories. So while this boat doesn't necessarily have a big, huge drawer or area to throw a ton of tackle in, this could work between here, some of the cabinets and cubbies that we have here, up front. There's a lot of different in here. There's a lot of different spaces where we could leave a little bit of tackle on the boat. But as you know, I always bring a lot. And so we'll have to take a look and see what we're gonna do. There's a cup holder here in the middle and then two here that actually have the little cutout for your handle. This thing is solid. It is really cool. I don't know if it's factory or if it came and was built aftermarket, but it is actually super sturdy and really nice. I've got one of the big Yeti mugs that doesn't fit in any cup holder. It actually fits in these two outside ones, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Then below it, you've got another one of the interior lights. I'll go ahead and turn them on. And so we'll come up here. We got to make sure that the master switch is on, and then we'll do interior lights, flip those puppies on, and then you can see, ta-da, we've got that nice little amber light in there to light up this whole back area of the boat. Then if we shut that, we can of course latch that shut. And then we've got the big deck area here on the back. Of course, I'm going to put a lot of tracks here, but this is where we've got our rear holder for our light. That would be up there and turned on if I turn that switch on. And then we've got kind of our sunning deck, if you will, or what I call our fishing platform. And so you can actually stand up here. I'm going to jump up here right now so you can see how well it handles me. And boom, we can go ahead and walk on this thing here, cast over there, cast over here, and we're not going to have any problem at all. So this thing's pretty sweet. This is how I'm intending on using it a ton this year, is being able to walk around up here and cast. This is something that unlocks this space in addition to all of this other space in the boat. This is an 1850, which means it's 18.5 feet long, but I do gain this space, whereas if I had an outboard motor here, I wouldn't be able to stand here. This would probably be, wherever they call it, this type of splash well guard type of thing. And then I've also got this guy right here. So you can go down there, that's your swimming deck. And again, I've got the ladder there. So while I'm primarily going to be using it for fishing, bringing the wife and the kiddo out here, family, friends, it's got a lot of nice space. So what I'm thinking about doing is if I remove those two back chairs, obviously I wouldn't leave them there, I'd take them out of the boat. I'd still have two spots here where somebody can sit, and I would be able to have all of this open floor space back here to walk around, have, you know, areas to cast or whatnot, areas for activities. I could actually have a cooler in here. I could have a bait well. I mean, there's so much that I can do with this space. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to use it, but it's nice to have a lot of space to walk around, put my, you know, bump board in here and whatnot. But my thought for tackle storage, if I want like good size tackle storage, is getting either some bags, some bins, or some shelving, racking type thing where I can put a bunch of 3700 cases under this seat as well as under this seat. And again, that is if what's behind both of those for storage, this is battery, so I wouldn't need to obviously be getting in there. And then whatever I put in here, I would just make sure is rare to get to. I'd be able to leave them there, otherwise slide them out if I need to get behind those. So I think those are really good storage spots that I'm going to be able to use. One other area for storage is actually in the floor here. I was hoping when I got this and opened it up that it was going to be rod storage, but it's not. What it is a in-floor access here to two huge bays. Right now, the way that they explain it is this is set up, this is filled with ropes and stuff in it. You can see that there's a battery tray there, and then you've got battery wires there that aren't actually hooked up to anything, and it looks like you've got where you're pulling your fresh water from for the live well. But this is set up so that way you can put your batteries in here. I'm assuming that wire goes up there for the trolling motor. So I might put my trolling motor batteries in here. Otherwise, we'll see what I end up doing. But this could be another area where I could put tackle in here. These are actually a lot bigger than the camera is showing. This is about a foot wide. In each of these, the clearance between the beams here, I would say is about 8 inches. So some good storage there. I was hoping for it to be rod storage, but it's not. However, if we look here, what is really nice is if I'm using this front area as a fishing platform, what's nice is it does give you this cavity under here. Depending on how many rods I'm gonna be able to fit in here, if I can fit like 8 rods in here, I'll probably be fine and just leave it at that, other than if I need to bring 1 or 2 extra for a couple occasions. Otherwise, what I can do if I need more storage space is just throw them on the floor here, because that goes all the way up to the front. I should be able to throw some rods there, have them lay there, and kind of go all the way up to the front. So that's another area where I know I don't want them on the floor, but if I have to, that's not the end of the world. I can't wait to get this boat set up. If you have any tips, ideas, recommendations, things I should do, shouldn't do, add in, don't add in, please add it down in the comments. I'm gonna make a ton of content about this boat, gearing it up, getting it all rigged up, all the stuff that I've got on it based off of all, of course, the gear and tech and things that I do on the channel. But we're also gonna do a lot of fishing and a lot of fun out of the boat too. We'll do some live streams out here on the water. There's a ton of really cool things we're gonna do this year. So make sure you stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take it easy.